right, we had a really incredible day today. Right off the bat, in the morning time, my Google Play, which I've been talking to you guys about since Wednesday of last week, and then all the way through the end of the week and Sunday, it popped. It did what I thought it would do. It gave me a 10K win, a little bit greater than 10K. We then turned around and I made some small scalps for the Discord. The first one was a small $200 scalp, and I wanted to give everybody the opportunity. I said, guys, this trade will pay for your entire year in the Discord. Well, we booked that one. And then a little while later, we booked another one for 500 and we booked a ton more. So it was nothing but wins in the Discord today. We did have one complicated trade with Tesla that I'm going to break down for you guys today. But even towards the end of the day, that was up $1,000. I set my stop loss, so no losses whatsoever. It was a win between $13,000 to $14,000, but there's a couple plays that I'm carrying over for tomorrow. One of them is AMD, and I'm going to go over that with you guys. Guys, if you're not in the Discord, for me, for as many wins as we're booking there each and every day, in my view, it's a free Discord based on how much opportunity there has been to make money. If it's not me, it's one of the members of the Stock Squad. This Discord is made up of me, Stockmo, Keenan Grace, and Stock Up with Larry Jones. Larry was in there with some winning trades as well. You had nothing but opportunity today. It was absolutely an incredible day, but it's time to pull in the reins. Take a look at what's going on this week, because as I said on my Sunday video, this is going to be one of the biggest pivotal weeks of the entire year. It's going to tell us a lot about what the future of the S&P is going to be, and I'm going to break down the three big things I'm going to be looking at this week in the stock market, as well as some of my top trades going into tomorrow. This is the Stocks with Josh show. I appreciate all of the likes and all of the love that I get from each and every one of you. Go ahead and say hi and throw a heart in the comment and let me know if you guys were able to participate and make some money today. If you didn't make any money, I want you to go and watch my Sunday afternoon video, which talks about the reasons why you might be losing in your portfolio right now. It was a great video. I'm going to leave it at the end of this video. If this is your first time to this page, don't miss the opportunity to subscribe and don't miss a single video, because we're making calls. We're doing great analysis of stocks as well as the overviews of the market each and every day. So, all right, let's kind of dive into what are the big three events this week. Guys, the first one that I'm going to be watching is we have the FOMC meeting on Tuesday, and then we have Jay Powell, the CEO of the S&P 500. He's going to be talking on Wednesday. I call him the CEO because, man, he's the one that's going to give us forward guidance on the entire market, and it's coming Wednesday, and it absolutely is going to impact markets. But I'll tell you guys in advance that we know that they're not going to raise any rates. The market has a 95% bet that he isn't going to do anything. But the question is not what he does, but it's what he says and how hawkish he is. If he gives any kind of a pivot language, any form of a soft pitch or dovish statement at all, the markets will take it as a reason to jump, especially because they're as oversold as they are. But likewise, if he talks hawkish and if he doubles down on being the hawk that he has been for quite a while now, it could again frighten the markets. We could see the yield curve pop, and then we could see the markets pull back even more. We're not out of the woods. I'm going to get into my opinion as to what's going to happen with some top trades that will reflect the risk to the downside that I see. And if that wasn't enough to move the markets this week, we've got big data coming out. We have the JOLTS report Wednesday. We've got jobless claims Thursday, and we've got unemployment Friday. All of these are reports that the Fed is looking at that are either going to cause him to ramp up his hawkish rhetoric or maybe even cool him off a little bit. And then this is a big week of earnings. The number one earnings that you guys know that we're going to be watching this week is the biggest catalyst of the markets, and that's Apple stock. We will cover Apple this week before earnings. SoFi reported today, and even though they did well, the stock sold off, which seems to be business as usual. Tomorrow, another big play that I'm in, which is AMD. They're reporting tomorrow. I'm going to break them down today and what I'm doing. Wednesday, we've got PayPal, and I'm just going to give you guys some verbal technicals. I've been telling you forever forever to only short PayPal because the big reason is that they're running up against competition with some other big players like Apple. Apple is stealing PayPal's market share as they get into the money movement business. And so they're coming under pressure. It's not been a reversal story yet, but here's my prediction for PayPal when they report earnings on Wednesday. I think it's very likely that we will come down and bounce somewhere in the $49 range. But here's the warning. If for some reason we do not bounce, but we drive through $49 and we close on the day, then just take it as a solid technical confirmation that the stock is going to $45. That's my opinion of the charts. We'll see what happens. Follow along, hit that subscribe and that YouTube notification bell so you can find out what happened with my prediction. And then in addition to Apple, we've got a number of hot stocks that I like to talk about. We've got Coinbase, Palantir, DraftKings, and Block. And if you want more details, I'm going to do some charting and some analysis on all of them, but you got to click on the link of the Patreon, which I have in the top pinned comment, because I'm going to leave that over there. Guys, don't miss a bit of it. All right, I'm going to get into 3 big tech stocks, but before I do, let me take a very quick station break. If you're a new investor or if you need better trade tools, I have a link in the top pinned comment as well for the Moomoo investment app as well as the Webull investment app. And if you're trying to make some progress as a day trader, but you're running up against that PDT rule, which prevents you from doing more than 3 trades a week, you can kind of get past that by having 2 accounts. You can have some money in Webull, some money in Moomoo, and you can get up to 6 trades, 6 opens and closes there a week. Check it out. They're both offering free stock. Moomoo right now is offering up to 16 free stock to open and fund an account. I've got the links in the top pinned comment for you guys. Go and check them out. Okay, let's talk about a couple companies before earnings. I'm going to give you guys these important technicals before we even get close to the earnings. I'm going to start off with AMD, which has been a money maker. AMD a week ago was my big winner. This week it's Google, but AMD has been a consistent payday for me because we've accurately predicted the chart. We've accurately called support and resistance. And here's what I got for you guys today. If they do well, there is no doubt in my mind that this is going to shoot to a minimum of $100 or $102. And it could easily do that even before earnings. Now, I probably would take some profit and just take the risk off the table because of this choppy environment. But I want to point out a couple things. I see a double bottom in the RSI, which means the momentum has come down to this same place twice and it's reversed. And so that's a bullish signal for me. And I like the wicks that I'm seeing on the last 2 days worth of candles. Now it came down quite a bit. It's consolidating in this current price range. It's either going to fall back to $92 or it's going to pop up to $99. We're right in the middle of the risk range, and I'm leaning. My bias on this one is bullish, but I'm going to go into it tomorrow with a small position size because there's no need to. We've made enough money just trading the price action from day to day. At the moment, we made money, I think $700 on the AMD trade today. And so, you know what? We'll see if we can make some more money going into earnings tomorrow. So keep AMD on your watch list, but be aware that that's my target for taking profit. Okay, the big boy, Tesla. And let me just start off by saying that I think the Tesla right now at these levels is a great long-term hold. And as I've said in previous videos, I believe that we're going to be back at 225 to 250 on Tesla in the coming days before the end of this year. What happened in the charts today caused me to jump in, and I got in a bit early. I got in at the middle of the day when it vacillated between $195 and $196, but still the price option that I got in eroded, and so I had to scale my position. I scaled it enough so that when we picked back up, I was able to lock in $1,000 profit. I want to share with you guys that over last week, there was massive whales shorting Tesla to the tune of $124 million going into this week. And we saw today that the stock was absolutely beat down. Sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail. Today, Tesla was the nail. So if you happen to be in calls going into this morning, you got hammered. But I think that it got to a place of being oversold. It went down today on 30% increased volume. Now, if you've been following me, you might hear that and go, okay, Josh, there's confluence of the price going down and the momentum increasing. which means that it should continue to go down, but no. This is where volume gets more complicated, and I really have yet to explain this on this show, but when you get to the bottom of a technical move, and we're definitely at the bottom of the technical move with Tesla, we're at the bottom of the range, we're outside the Bollinger Bands. When you get to the bottom and you see a massive 1 or 2 day money outflow, the stock can be perceived as bullish because there's going to be a good portion of that money coming back in after that massive pull down. So we did have a big move down after a bad week last week, and so the likelihood is at this point it was bullish when it hit 195, and that's why I took a chance on it. And then we've got this beautiful bullish MACD divergence. Divergence is when the price goes down, but the momentum of the MACD is pointing upwards. We've got the exact same thing on the RSI. The price has come down, but the momentum of selling pressure has decreased, which means it's pointing up, giving us bullish divergence on 2 important indicators. Now, the other thing I want to point out to you guys, and I've been talking to you about this a lot, and it's worked for a lot of my swing trades, which I hope you guys have noticed. We're looking at that 4-hour RSI and how extremely oversold it is. Now, the last time that the RSI for Tesla on the 4-hour chart was this oversold was back in December, right before it got to $101. It was the day that it pulled back to $106. And based on that extreme oversold condition, which was around the 15% mark on the RSI, the stock jumped $14.33 over the course of the next couple days. But then we know after that jump, because of that extreme oversold condition, that it then pulled back ultimately to 101. Now, what this tells us is if we're in a similar situation, we're very close to the bottom. It is possible that we could come back to 192 and even break into the 180s. But based on the oversold condition, that's why I took some call options at 195. And if I say the numbers wrong, guys, just forgive me. We're talking about $195. We're talking about $180 range. But based on the fact that we got to 195 in those extreme oversold conditions, there's the potential for a $10 pop. And my trigger price for taking profit would be a back test of the $203 range, which I think is a light resistance. There's heavier resistance at 206, which means that tomorrow or the next day, we could pop all the way back up to 206 very easily from this price point. And the options that I entered in tens of thousands of dollars would yield me tens of thousands of dollars. We could be setting up for a nice week here with these trades. Hopefully all of this is making sense to you, but as always, I give more detail in the Discord. All right, and the last stock I want to cover is Google. Google's doing very well. I'm going to keep my coverage extremely simple. We've yet to hit my up target, which means I could have held the options that I had this morning for even a bigger gain, but it proved to be the right decision to sell them at around $1.95 because they pulled all the way back to the $1.30 range, and I was able to pick them up over and over again as we pushed higher. Because I believed that we were ultimately going to 127 or 128 on Google, that's what gave me the confidence to scale back into these for repeated gains. And that's where we're at today. Now, going into the close, I think I'm going to take profit, but I want you guys to be aware that I'm going to try to get in again somewhere between $1.40 and $1.50 on the call options that I've given you guys in the Discord. And ultimately, I think we can go to $2 to $2.50 possibly tomorrow. That's what we're going to be keeping our eye on. But it depends. If we were to hit it after market today, if we were to run up and get those additional $2, then we could actually pull down from there going into tomorrow. So you need to be aware of how that works. Guys, I hope all of this has been super helpful for you. I've got something interesting to share with you guys in this week. We've got so much to cover, but I'm working on a new segment for this show, and it's going to be a penny stock, an AI pick penny stock. I'm going to join the algorithm pick with my technicals, and we're going to come up with a new trade setup plan for that. I'm excited about bringing that new segment to you guys. Again, thank you for hitting the like. Hit it if you haven't hit it so far. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to get the next video and to participate in the journey that we're having here together. And let me know how you did today in the comments section. As always, peace and blessings. Take care. We'll see you soon.